Chapter 8, Episode 8 Plans for the End. Falma was in a dazed state for a while and didn't feel motivated to do anything. This other world may end because of the hammer mill, but if things continue like this, humanity on Earth will also end in the near future. If the Falma boy created Soma in the Earth world, Kanji-Kuyu may have to return to Earth and repair Soma. Falma began to think about this, although he had no desire to return to his original world. Since it's not realistic for me to return there, I hope you somehow see the flaws of Soma. Or rather, why was such a thing approved? I wondered, but there were a number of possible reasons. Also, during the time he spent as Kanji Yakutani, the ground was promoted, which seemed to welcome him. Innovative therapeutic drugs and medical technology are developed almost every year, and medical costs continue to rise to support them. Due to the rapid aging of the population in Japan and other countries around the world, the growth of medical spending has exceeded national income. No matter how much the burden on patients increases, the financial outlay cannot keep up. There has also been a lack of definitive treatment for rare diseases and stubborn cancers. What if a Japanese pharmacist develops Soma, a dreamy panacea that can rejuvenate and prolong life, and the benefits outweigh the risks without causing side effects? It can be approved by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare as a therapeutic drug for any disease by maximizing the indication diseases. If Soma can significantly reduce rising medical costs, extend healthy life expectancy, and significantly increase reproductive age, and if it is possible to become pregnant even after the age of 70, the problem of declining birth rate and declining labor force will also be postponed for the time being. Lost decades in Japan. Even the political and business circles that had blamed each other for the decline of Japan's scientific excellence over the years would have applauded his birth provided nothing had happened. Legislation to carefully assess long-term risks did not catch up. No one could have stopped the approval of Soma. It is understandable that most people who fear death and want rejuvenation would jump on the panacea. Falma is also Mujina of the same hole. Thus, he has used superficial means in this world with quite a few cheats to fight the death of people near him. I am sure it is the same. If I were in the other world, I would have just welcomed you. Malene thinks about the Earth world and talks to the sinking Falma. Why are you depressed? I thought my hometown might sink. I noticed that my voice was trembling. I wonder if people in the other world can come up with what you're thinking. Maybe you don't have to worry about that. The people in the world you come from are as smart as you are. Is it true? I can't even enter a very intelligent house. He has no strengths of his own compared to the better people on Earth. Empty, I just ran and died. As an Earthling, I want to believe in the people of Earth and the scientific wisdom they have accumulated. However, Falma knows their weaknesses because they belong to the Earthlings. That being said, if you stop taking the medicine called Soma, will you be able to return to normal? What are you so worried about? I'm worried because I'm not going to go back. This drug, Soma, once it starts working, will correct genetic abnormalities forever. Or rather, it also changes the germline genome. Humanity will truly be freed from old age, disease and death. Even if the administration of Soma is stopped. It would be a different story if something like a safety device was built in, but would humans really accept the pain of disease to the point of damaging their own health? I don't think so. Malene, there doesn't seem to be a plan to go there. The more I think about it, the stranger it seems to me. Like Malene said, I don't know if it's the creator of the Earth or not, but I feel like someone is intervening. You should not go to the Earth where Soma exists. Falma decided to do that. Maybe it's because it's parasitic on the gears of the hook and there are anomalies happening in the other world too. Earth over there is a world Falma doesn't know about. The first priority is to normalize that world. Okay. I'll leave the affairs of the other world to you and those who are reasonable. The words of 13-year-old Malene are incredibly reliable for her age. Falma's primary goal was to create a world free of evil spirits. Bring them to the continent where I live, and then we'll see what happens to the spirits of that continent. Solomon and other priests are said to have created the maps for the existing spells. They seem to say that if they were collected individually by Falma and given to Liken and the others, the appearance of spirits on the continent could be prevented. Their suggestions seemed to give room for thought, but Falma wondered if it was all right. But what if, contrary to expectations, the continent where Liken is located also becomes infested with the summoning of evil spirits? In that case, just the normal answer. Just like you tried to do in the beginning. If there is something you can try before purification, you should give it a try. Liken says, "Okay, let's do it a little at a time." That day, knowing that the regular meeting of the Great Temple was being held at the San Fluve Palace Temple, Falma and Liken went to the palace and joined Elizabeth and the chief priests. Solomon and the priests of the guardian temples in various places were also gathered. Since the time of the Holy Empress Elizabeth I, the functions of the Holy State, due to its vigilance to the gears of the hammer and the convenience of transport, were moved to the temple in the St. Fluve Palace, and major events and conferences have increasingly increased was held there. It is here, as the roads leading from all over the continent to the imperial capital have been developed with ample budget. The priests generally welcome the consolidation of the functions of the Great Temple in the imperial palace. With Falma's advice and Elizabeth's permission, it was decided that Liken would be allowed to attend the regular meeting for today only, which was originally attended only by priests. Falma decided to present his future policy before them, who had been recruited to the cathedral, and solicit their frank opinions. However, the priests, unaware of this, are nervous when they hear that the patron deity will be present for the first time in a long time. The patron deity has something to tell us. Some people are afraid that new jobs will be assigned to them. It seems that there will be a message from the medicine god before the regular meeting. Elizabeth is sitting in the high priest's seat in the central part of the cathedral. Liken was sitting next to him as a guest. Falma stood in front of the altar, and after hearing the prayers of the priests and blessing them according to custom, he began to speak slowly. "I find it unacceptable to say what I am about to say, but please let me know what you think." What he told me was that he was determined to find a final solution to the Hale equipment problem. With Liken's cooperation, he creates a world without evil spirits, consolidates the faith and divine powers of the continent in Falma, and fulfills his demands by becoming an existence on par with the Gravekeeper. The Gravekeeper's request is to cut the link between the cogwheel of the hammer and the earth and normalize the world. If the Gravekeeper refuses to accept his request, he will penetrate the Gravekeeper's communication system and try to brainwash him. If that fails, the world will end. I will be the last guardian deity. Please lend me your power. In order to normalize this world, it is necessary to let go of the divine arts and magic that destroy the cause and effect of this world, and strive for the development of the world based on new scientific principles. He also made this clear. Only temple officials were present at the regular meeting, but revolt spread among the priests. To abandon divine arts is to lose the privileges of nobility. Apart from the priests, it is not something that can be easily accepted by the secular nobles. They could not directly deny Falma's words, so they began to expound their theories. But even if I am told not to use divine arts, I don't think there will be many people who try to use them secretly. Even if we gave up our divine arts, it would be unrealistic for our descendants to protect them. What if the chant that controls the opening and closing of the veins leaks out? Pondering plausible excuses, the priests speak up, unwilling to let go of their pride as divine users of the arts. Falma, however, calmly denied this. "Don't worry, I'll disable your divine arts completely." "Oh, how's that?" With a defiant look on her face, Elizabeth asked Falma while propping her shoulders and elbows on the chair. "After obtaining everyone's approval, I intend to destroy the divine arts-related gene clusters of divine arts users around the world all at once." "Sorry, I know what you mean. Simply put, it irrevocably destroys the veins of the gods." Falma expressed it with an expressionless face so as not to put any emotion into it. It is an act that breaks the heart of everyone sitting here. It becomes a hated role, but you have to buy it. Do you want to drown the sacred spring? No. I will remove the vein myself. The priests were astonished and their faces were drawn with fear. Can you change our bodies? Yes. You can remake anything that makes up your body. Falma looked down and confirmed. The ability to use divine arts will not be passed on to descendants and the mythical lineage will be lost. It is practically impossible to deceive me and hide, escape or evade me. Falma can use material extinction to wipe out the mythological gene clusters in areas as far as the eye can see, or by designating the entire planet. When that happens, there will be no more divine art users in this world, and Falma will be able to monopolize all the divine power given to divine art users around the world by himself. This power will not be used for personal gain, but on an equal footing with the Tomb Guardian. In order to preserve this world forever, I will confiscate my divine power. Even after telling them their purpose and intentions, the priests' uproar did not subside. No matter where in the world you are, even if it's the end of the world or the end of the sea, I don't think I can escape. When the time comes, I plan to destroy even one of them. To protect them, take away their divine powers. I am sorry that this is the only way I can come. The priest's faces twitch with fear after being told such a ruthless and unilateral measure. Probably because he realized it wasn't a bluff. There's no pain even if I say smitten. I don't think I can perceive it even if I use a technique. One day my divine power suddenly withers away and I can't use any divine art. The divine power that was stored in the divine art circle will eventually disappear. Gently, divine arts disappear from this world. That is all. You may feel that your faith is being tested. Similarly, we are planning to destroy our magical power. Both the divine power and the magical power will be gone. Liken showed an attitude of supporting Falma's plan. If that is the case, then I accept it. Since Falma Sama has decided, we priests will accept it and become citizens. That is the reason. When are you going to destroy the mythology? Solomon responded without hesitation to the destruction of the mythic vein and asked Falma for a specific date. I would like to set it at 5 years, he said. Then will a situation arise in which only tutelary deities can use divine arts in this world? Elizabeth's question. They are entering a new world that only Falma knows. It will take a while, but it will soon be over. What will happen to you? Elizabeth seems concerned for Falma's safety because of her vagueness. Falma could have missed the question, but he decided to say it openly. I will disappear with the grave guard, or I will disappear when I destroy the gear of the hammer. Actually, my body is disappearing little by little. I will watch over the normalization. If I can at least be of use world, that's enough for me. Solomon seemed to regret hearing Falma's firm determination, but he didn't seem to mind. He said only that he would follow the guardian's decision. The priests had no choice but to accept Falma's words. Falma, have you talked to your father, mother, brothers and sisters? Liken also listens to Falma's determination for the time being. Falma's determination falters a little when he talks about his family. Oh, Blanche will cry. Pal, Bruno, Beatrice, etc. This body is also the living proof of the young Falma de Medicis. It ends up separating him from his family. You may be sad, but I am not originally from this world. I have a desire to see the future of medical care and science in this country. From the beginning, there is no reason to hold on to life. I am death and the dead shall become nothing. When I disappear, it is pure, and that is also my aesthetic. Yes, the spirit must not remain in this world. Do not apply exceptions to yourself. The truth is that I don't even have a body to return to anymore because my time is up. After destroying all the spirits of this world, I am the last spirit to be purified. See what is to be seen. I did what I had to do. I said what I had to say. Someone will do the rest. It doesn't have to be you. Didn't you talk to Liken about it? If there are 5 years left, you can say that time has already been extended enough. Maybe what I experienced in this world was like a long spinning lantern. Falma received the priest's gazes as if they were looking at a foreign object. I gradually became nostalgic for that feeling. Instead of letting everyone perish, I will take the path of saving everyone except me. Let me ask you one thing. Why is it 5 years later? There is a dark eclipse looming this year. Solomon, listening to this story as if chewing on his emotions, can't seem to digest it and raises a question. I'm pouring my divine power into the gear of the bolt, so I think I'll last until this year's dark eclipse. I asked Liara-san to check the scheduled date of the next dark eclipse, and I identified it as in 5 years. With that time, I should be able to find all the spells on the continent, and also have time to confirm that the evil spirits have truly disappeared, so that I can at least pass on the knowledge and skills I have to the next generation. You can leave this world after seeing that the foundations of science have been laid. That means years. Falma told the priests that he was making such a path roughly as a support for the realization of the plan. I tell him that I will get the cooperation of Malene and others to carry the cursed weapon and bring it to the continent to make it harmless. Elizabeth accepted the plan of Falma and Malene. He makes a plan to collect the spells and bring them directly to Falma. Of course, I will also get Falma, but I don't have enough bodies for one person, so I will split up. If the Myraka tribe were to take over all the spells on this continent, that would be great for the people in front of us. For the priests, being able to remove the curse that threatens the safety of the community is not a bad story. However, they also have a mysterious look in front of Malene, who is trouble. Malene, are you sure about this? Is it to your advantage? Elizabeth peers into her black eyes to find out what Malene's true intentions are and whether she is forcing them. Malene tells Elizabeth coldly, I said I could accept it, but I will take care of it after I see the situation. That would be appropriate. Then let's proceed with the preparations as per Falma's suggestion. I expected this meeting to be stormy, but thanks to Malene and the Holy Emperor, it looks like we can wrap things up. Falma stroked his chest in relief. Thank you for agreeing with me. Falma bowed his head deeply, left the hall and was about to go on to the usual routine of the cathedral when a priestess energetically left her seat. Wait a minute, Juliana asked, and the place got loud. Juliana shook off the surroundings that wanted to hold her, ran up the altar, ran in front of Falma and fell to her knees. Miss Juliana, I think it's funny. Juliana's screams echoed through the cathedral. Falma-sama saved my life. You kept me in this world when I gave up living, when I was about to die. Juliana, unable to understand her rudeness, crouched down and approached Elizabeth. His Holiness, is that all right with you? Juliana got the momentum to eat Elizabeth. This person worked hard for the people living in this world, and he never gave up and saved his life. Still, the temple only sacrificed Falma-sama, and we were saved and tried to live with ease. Is there such a thing as a priest serving a patron deity, and what is your faith? Juliana shook her body in frustration and shed tears. It was the first time she exploded with such emotions. The patron gods protect people, but people don't even try to protect the patron gods. As a cardinal priestess, she was ruled by a curse and sent to Falma as an assassin from the Holy Kingdom, but with his permission, she was saved and received a generous patronage. She has never forgotten this kindness. At the point where an indescribable air began to flow, Falma lowered his waist, fixed his gaze on Juliana and addressed her. Thank you for protecting me, Juliana. I did it. That's not good. Please stop pretending to be philosophical only at times like this. You're a patron deity, but you told me you have a human heart. I am a cowardly person, so if I were in your position, I would be afraid. Even if I were already dead, I don't want to die again. Juliana sobbed and was speechless. Still, he sobbed at the hem of his clothes and kept talking as if he was fumbling around. I haven't forgotten. You told me that it wasn't anything special that helped me, but that it was people helping each other. Then it's like that. It is absolutely wrong. The temple was here until now. I have lived sacrificing my patron deity to the hammer wheel and covering my ears to the screams of death. And what is different this time? Juliana decided to throw herself on the ground to resist. Elizabeth closed her eyes and listened to what she said. Then the fan moving in the air closed with a crack. That's right. I'm sorry, Juliana. For the world's sake, I told him it couldn't be helped, and I almost gave up on his proposal. And nah. How heartless of the gods who saved me twice. A faint glow returned to Elizabeth's eyes, as if she had regained hope. Once during the White Death and again from the melting circle. Her life was saved by Falma and Emmerich respectively. You can go ahead with your plan. I will not interfere and will think of a way to bring you back alive. The more you deviate from your goals, the more likely you're to fail. Falma shook her head anxiously. My priority is not my life. Think arbitrarily. Pharma. After the regular meeting ended, Malene sat down next to Falma, who was comforting Juliana on a chair in the church, and told her alone. Me too, I don't want you to perish. Although Falma felt she could not say anything. I want to express my gratitude to each of you for thinking this way.